What's going on, guys? Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. I'm Dustin. I'm sitting here with Nameco. This is our weekly basketball show. We're going to do one every week from here on out. We're excited the basketball season's here. We got some tips and advice for you. We're going to start out just by talking about reading the box scores when you're looking to pick up people off the waiver wire. This is a very important thing to know how to do. First thing you need to look at is minutes. If a guy's not consistently playing over 25 minutes a game, there's a good chance he's not going to be fantasy relevant. That's the first thing you got to look at. And then when you see a guy have a big stat line, you have to look and see, okay, well, did something happen out of the ordinary where he got more minutes or scored some points for some reason if there was an injury? For example, Ty Lawson, Wednesday night, he played 28 minutes and blew up. But you look at the score, they won by 26 points or something like that in that game. So obviously he was playing because they were up. And he shot 9 for 10 from the field. He's not going to shoot 90% every time he steps out on the court. So you can't trust that stat line. Another example, Roy Hibbert back on October 30th. He got dropped in a lot of leagues after that game. So he played under 20 minutes. He had a bad game, but he also had 5 fouls. So obviously he was in foul trouble. He didn't get the minutes, and now he's blowing up, and people are regretting dropping him in deeper leagues. So you just really do need to know how to read the stat line all the way across. It's going to help you when you're making your waiver wire moves and keep you from making bad decisions.
This segment is for anyone that has to set their league on Monday and let their team ride out through the rest of the week. And the reason for it is we're going to show you the teams that are playing 4 times a week and the guys that more importantly are only playing 2 times a week. So if you look at the teams that are playing 4, it's like the Mavericks, Rockets, Clips. You know, those mediocre guys have a little increased value because they're going to get a little more play. But more importantly, anyone on the Pacers, Bucks, Kings, and Wizards are only going to play twice. So you're probably going to take them all out of your lineup. But remember, we'll do this each week, so check back in with us.
All right, let's talk about some guys we think you should add onto your teams from the waiver wire. First set of guys we think should be added in all leagues, and we start with Jason Thompson. He was one of our favorite sleepers coming into the season. He's only owned in about 75% of leagues right now. We think he's going to be a great rebounder this year. Channing Frye is next. He's only owned in about 70% of leagues. Whenever you can have a center make you 3 threes a game, that's a nice little bonus. Brandon Jennings, oh my gosh, the guy's lights out as a point guard.
Apparently go to Europe. Maybe it's college.
Rookie in his first few games been playing amazing. Go ahead and pick him up. Hopefully he can keep it up. And last guy I want to talk about is Ronnie Brewer. The guy's playing almost 40 minutes a game. Anyone's going to have value if they play that many minutes. If he keeps it up, we like Ronnie Brewer as an ad.
All right, now I'm going to go over some guys you should be looking at if you're in deeper league formats. The first one's Chuck Hayes. He's averaging about 9 points, 8 boards, and 2.5 steals. Very solid numbers. Next is Hibbert. Dustin touched on him earlier, but he could be a double-double guy this year. Then we have Mike Miller from the Wizards. His points will be down, and he's got a little bit of an injury, so he might get dropped in a lot of leagues. But like I said earlier, points down, he's going to get you boards, assists, and he's going to knock down a few threes for you as well. Then we have Spites, who's this backup center as of right now for the 76ers. He's had 2 gigantic games. He's averaging 14 and 8. I could see Dallenberg getting moved out of the way. And last on the list is Chris Douglas Roberts. 16 points, 5 boards, but more importantly, point guard, shooting guard, and small forward eligibility. It's a great add in deeper leagues.
Alright, now I want to get into a list of guys who we don't think you should believe their stat lines. We think they're a little inflated for whatever reason. We start with JJ Redick. He's getting a lot of minutes out there with Orlando, but remember Vince Carter's been hurt and Rashard Lewis is serving his suspension. Now, they won't probably cut into his minutes that much, but they are going to take some points away from him. Don't believe his stat lines. Then we got Ty Lawson. We touched on him earlier. We don't believe his numbers. Next is Dampier. Don't forget, Gooden is hurt out there and not playing. When Gooden comes back, it's going to really hamper Dampier's numbers. Then we got Quentin Richardson, one of the streakiest NBA players of all time. You just can't trust the guy. Yeah, he's playing well, but only in the deepest of leagues would I consider picking him up. And the last guy is Ryan Anderson, because obviously he's playing right now because Rashard Lewis is serving his suspension.
All right, and I got a couple guys not to drop. Don't hit the panic button quite yet. First one's John Salmons. He's off to a terrible start for the Bulls, but he's going to turn it around. Don't worry about it. Do not drop him. Next is Nate Robinson. He's injured. If you can hold on to him, he's going to come back, be just fine, do exactly what you expect him to do. And last is Anthony Randolph. I mean, Nelly is killing fantasy owners everywhere. Steven Jackson started against Memphis Grizzlies and matched up against Zach Randolph. I mean, Nelly's nuts, but, you know, he's the second all-time winningest coach. With all of this being said, you probably spent a 7th, 8th, 9th round pick on Randolph. Don't drop him quite yet. Give Nelly a chance. I think he's going to come around. They're going to have to eventually give Randolph a decent amount of minutes.
Maybe.
Yeah, God knows.
So that's it for this basketball edition. We'll be back next week. Until then, we'll see you in the forums. Same bet, play.